Personal story segment tonight. Can Donald Trump or any Republican candidate get a fair shot on the network news broadcast? Last night on The Factor, Newt Gingrich said negative coverage by the press in general is much worse on GOP candidates. With now, veteran CBS News correspondent Leslie Stahl has been a national reporter for 44 years. Oh. Covering Presidents Carter, Reagan, and Bush the Elder. In fact, we use Ms. Stahl as a source on killing Reagan. She is out with her own book called Becoming Grandma, The Joys and Science of the New Grandparenting, which we'll get to in a moment. So, Trump, do you think he can get a fair shot on, we're talking particularly about the network news morning programs. The evening programs are 22 minutes of reports. They can do a little dance, and I saw it with the Rather people, but not as much as they can do in the morning. Do you think the GOP can get a fair shot?
Here's what I think about reporters in general, and even the reporters here at Fox, that whoever the front runner is going to get the most scrutiny and the toughest press. And we've seen it. Remember what happened to Ted Kennedy? Remember that? When he was looking like he was going to be a successful presidential candidate, everybody went after him.
Against Carter.
And the minute his campaign collapsed,
they left him.
Started to get so I think it's a front runner issue more than a
okay, let me tell you a story
issue.
about, I went on the CBS Morning News, and I liked that show. I mean, I think that gives very good information in the morning. And Rose, you know, Charlie Rose, you know him, right?
Of course.
Okay,
I've known him as long as you have.
He kind of slouches around the corridors over there. And he's the primary interviewer. And he was just appalled that Donald Trump was even in a game. Now, he put me in a position where I had to defend Trump in the sense that I had to say.
You didn't have to.
No, I did, because it wasn't fair. And I'm a fair and balanced guy, as you know.
Well,
and I had to say, look, you're missing Trump's primary appeal as reflecting the anger of the electorate. You may not like him, Charlie, but other people do, and you need to respect that. Now, this was early on, before a lot of the controversies. But the vibe coming off all of the CBS Morning News crew was, how can this Trump even be in the game? That's what was coming off.
Well, he's a front runner. And that's what I'm saying.
You think it was just because he's a front runner, or because they think he's a vulgarian?
Well, maybe both.
I don't think there's a maybe about it. Because you know.
Well, there might be a maybe about it.
You think so?
Well, I do. I think the front runner gets extra trouble.
What if a tech in the CBS cafeteria, and I've eaten there many times, wore a Make America Great Again hat going in for lunch? Don't you think he would get a little scrutiny?
Have you invited me on to keep insisting that we're unfair and unbalanced? Is that the reason? Come on.
No, it's not the reason. But I do believe that you guys look askance. How about that? Word of the day, askance. At Republican candidates and a guy like Trump, more than a Hillary Clinton.
But I think you guys tilt to Republican candidates. So
do you really?
I don't.
No, that's fascinating. Which Republican candidate on the Fox News channel do you believe that we favor?
Oh, well, I think you like Trump.
You think I like him?
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten with the man?
Is he a vulgarian?
No, I would never call him that.
We're going to get to my book.
Yes, we are. But I know you're making you uncomfortable, but this is a very important issue. It really is, because this is a very important election.
I don't feel that uncomfortable, because I really believe what I'm telling you, which is that the front runner is going to get the toughest press, and it's innate in journalism that we do that. It's just part of the DNA.
Okay. I'm interested about the science of the new grandparenting. I mean, it's nice that you're a grandma, and we love grandmas here.
I hope so. You know, all the candidates are grandparents.
I know that.
Well, all the front runners.
And, you know, I remember my grandparents, Irish on both sides, and I loved them when I was a little kid. You know, they were great. They gave me money. They bought my affection.
That's what grandparents do.
But this thing, science, that caught my attention in the title. What's the science?
Well, you know, I wrote it because I was having such a physical reaction to my the first one and the second one, that I didn't understand what was happening inside me. And I discovered that there's a biochemistry to being a grandmother, as there is to being a mother. You actually change. You get a little rewired. And
give me a specific example of how you changed.
Oh, my goodness, enormously. Physically, it's just hugging them creates all kinds of chemicals in your body that make you feel good. So it's
so you experienced more joy.
Beyond, yes, beyond anything I anybody could ever have explained to
Even
me
more than
before.
when you were a mom?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've changed because I have a new purpose, a new meaning.
Which is?
To help take care of my grandchild and to help make sure that they're nourished and happy. You say we, all grandparents today, are giving our children stuff for the grandchildren.
Right.
We're spending 7 times more on grandchildren today than we did just 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We're paying for their medical bills.
It's the boomers. The boomers are really affected by this. Well,
Our children are having a difficult time. They're both working.
Yeah,
they're earning less than we did.
Yeah.
And they
I mean,
need
it's a
our
struggle
help.
to live in an affluent way now, and it's
Exactly.
All right, the book is Becoming Grandma, Leslie Stahl. You can see how emotional she got it just by talking about it. It is an emotional book, and I'm sorry I give you a hard time, but I give everybody a hard time.
I love you
know?
giving me a hard time.
Oh yeah, you do, sure.
I do.
And say hello to Rose. Tell them to stop slouching.